Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are diving deep into the financial engine that's powering one of the world's most ambitious energy transitions. We're talking about India's massive green revolution.
So, India has put this huge goal on the table, 500 gigawatts of non-fossil fuel energy capacity by 2030. Now that's a massive number, and a move like that, it's going to require literally trillions of rupees in investment.
And that, of course, raises the billion-dollar, or rather trillion rupee question, right? For investors, for policymakers, for everyone watching. Where is all that money for this green transformation actually going to come from?
All right, let's get into it. To really understand what's happening, we first need to wrap our heads around the sheer scale of this thing. It's both a massive opportunity and, frankly, a huge challenge.
You know, to hit targets this big, you can't just hope for the best. The country absolutely needs a dedicated financial institution, one that can channel enormous amounts of money into all sorts of renewable projects. We're talking everything from solar and wind to the really new emerging tech.
And that is where this very unique government-backed company called IREDA steps right into the spotlight.
So, what is IREDA? Well, think of it as India's biggest green bank. It's a public sector company with one and only one laser focus: financing the growth of renewable energy in the country.
Okay, now what's really fascinating here is the journey IREDA has been on. I mean, it started way back in 1987 as a pretty small agency. But look at it now. It's grown into a major financial powerhouse. Along the way, it's earned these important government classifications, like Mini Ratna and, more recently, the big one, Navratna status. Now, what that means is it gets way more financial freedom and can operate more independently. And of course, that super successful IPO in 2023, that was just icing on the cake, really showing how far it's come.
And when you look at what they fund, it's an incredibly diverse portfolio. This isn't just about the usual suspects, the massive solar farms or wind projects. No, they're also financing the future. We're talking about the critical infrastructure for electric vehicles, the entire supply chain for manufacturing components, and even jumping into those really cutting-edge sectors like green hydrogen and battery storage. The whole shebang, really.
And this right here, this gives you a fantastic visual of the real-world impact of all that financing. They've backed over 3,000 different projects across the country, making these incredibly complex operations like this huge floating solar park a reality.
Okay, so the mission is great, right? Super important. But as an investment, how does it actually stack up? Let's follow the money trail and find out.
First things first, just look at the growth in their core business. We're talking about their loan book. That's the total amount of money they've lent out. Between fiscal years 21 and 23, it grew at an average rate of 30%. That's seriously impressive growth.
And here's the best part. That incredible lending growth translated directly to the bottom line. Their profits? They grew even faster, clocking in at an average of 58% a year during that same period. Now that is a powerful signal of a really efficient operation.
Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting. When you put IEDA side by side with its bigger peers in the power financing world, companies like PFC and REC, you start to see its secret sauce. Look at that loan growth. It's nearly triple theirs. But the really crucial insight here is its lower average cost of borrowing. Why? Well, because it's a government-backed company with a top credit rating, it can get money more cheaply than its rivals. And that is a fundamental competitive advantage.
So here's the really crucial point to remember. This isn't just reckless fast growth. Their loan portfolio is actually remarkably high quality. I mean, think about it. Over 3/4 of their loans are for projects that are already built, up and running, and generating income. Plus, almost the entire portfolio is secured. And like we said, they've got that top-tier AAA credit rating, which is the best you can get.
Naturally, this kind of strong performance hasn't gone unnoticed. It's definitely caught the eye of market analysts. So let's take a look at how their perspective has evolved over time.
So let's rewind a bit to late 2023, right before the big IPO. Analysts were already seeing the potential here. Motilal Oswal, for instance, pointed to its unique focus on green energy and what they saw as an attractive price, and they recommended investors get in on it.
And that optimism didn't just fizzle out after the IPO. Nope. Fast forward to mid-2025, and the consensus target price from more than 10 different analysts is still pointing towards some significant potential upside from where the stock is today.
All right, so let's put it all together. What's the balanced view for someone thinking about investing? Well, the pros are pretty powerful, right? You've got its leadership position as the biggest dedicated green financier, backed by strong government policy. On the flip side, the cons are what you might expect. There's been some recent stock price volatility, and of course the risks that always come with being so heavily focused on just one sector.
But before we wrap this up, we have to talk about the road ahead. It's absolutely crucial to understand the potential hurdles that could slow down this momentum.
You know, the main risks are really baked right into its business model. First, they have to be super careful about managing the quality of their loans as they expand. Then there's interest rate volatility. Any big swings there can really squeeze their profit margins. And, of course, the big one, their success is completely tied to the health of the renewable energy sector. If that sector stumbles, so do they.
At the end of the day, IREDA's story is the story of India's green ambition. It's that simple. Its fortunes are going to rise and fall with the success of projects just like these vast solar fields stretching across the country.
So this leaves us with a big final question, right? As India races towards its green future, will its key financier, IREDA, continue to shine? Or will the inevitable market volatility and sector risks eventually cast a shadow over its bright future? It's something we'll all be watching very closely.